Hello. Oh, I've got ceiling light behind me. Can anybody see me? Hi, Adele. Hello. Hello, everybody. How are we all this fine Saturday evening? You're all saying hello now. Hi. I don't think I'm in a very good spot in my sewing room, am I? Because the ceiling light is sort of shining on me like I'm coming down from heaven or something. I don't know if that's any better. Right, I'm going to have to put my specs on because I can't read. My eyesight is failing me. Hello, everybody. Yes, you can see me. Fantastic. Oh, so is everybody well this evening, or this morning, or this afternoon, wherever you are? It's evening in the UK. Is everybody ready to sew the page hoodie? Have you got all your patterns cut out and your fabric cut out and your adjustments made? Jane says it's morning in Oregon. You might just spot Martin in the background. He's cooking my tea. So I better start working through everybody. So, oh gosh, where shall we start? Suki, hi Rachel. Hi Suki. Hi Elizabeth. Hi Ruan. Hi Jane. Morning in Oregon. Good morning. Hi to Leslie. Cynthia, hello from North Carolina. I'm able to join you this afternoon. Welcome. Linda says good evening. So looking forward to this. I am too. Suki says you look fab. Thank you. Anna says hi. How are you? Looking lovely. Thank you, Anna. Elaine, you look lovely tonight. Rachel, thank you. Angela says, yes, just finished work. Oh, it's such a good feeling when you finish work, isn't it? Happy Gardener, hi from Norwich. Hi. Maria, hi from Brighton. Pat, hi Rachel. Hi, Pat. Wendy says, already and looking forward to it. Fantastic. Anthea says, hello. Everyone from Northamptonshire. Judith, hi Rachel from Vancouver Island, Canada. Oh, I wish I was there with you, Judith. Hey Meadow says, cutting out a Love Notion sonata dress for my daughter. How lovely. Andy says, he's a good man. Send him here. I will as soon as he's finished mine. Janet says, hi, Rachel. Lisa says, hi from Skegness. Claire says, all good. Sewing an Audrey top. How lovely. Zoe says, hello, everyone. Been looking forward to this all day. Sue says, hi from Australia. Judy's here and she's cooking. Eliza, a.k.a. Prof. Pudge, watching from Ohio in the USA. Very cold and snowy here. It's cold here as well, Eliza, but no snow just yet. Michelle says hi from Michigan. Cynthia, I don't have the page hoodie, but I am working on other projects. Fantastic. Lorianne's here. Hi, and hugs from Oregon. Rachel, hi, Jane from Oregon too. Cherie's Alchemy, it's cold here in Minnesota. I'm hanging in my sewing room. Glad to catch you live. And Nessa, I'm very well, thank you. I'm gathering sleeves into a cuddle tunic for my mum. Slow sewing day after making a blouse. 2 sweatpants and most of the hoodie yesterday. Wow. So Joey says, I'll be making the hoodie with you. Wonderful. Cairnaholic says, I'm just watching. Been shopping. So actually now is excited to find a new fabric shop in Falkirk. Wow, which is quite close to me. Happy days. That's always a good feeling, isn't it? Anne says, hi, Rachel. Deborah, hi from Tennessee. Sarah, hi, Rachel from Norfolk. Vanessa, hi from Derbyshire. So Sarah, hi. Looking forward to this evening. Have wine in hand. Good stuff. Tamlin's here, just tidying up the chaos that is our living room before I head up to the sewing room. Bless you, Tamlin. Seaside Mum is here, watching from Vancouver Island too. Tamlin says Taylor is like a tornado. Yes, he's at that age. Anna says Anessa Harris. Hiya. Linda says hi from Newcastle. Denby says, what? Hi from Kent, working on a closet car poof to use up all my scraps. That's a good plan. Jenny says, hi, Rachel and everyone. Anessa, hello, Anna, how are you? Marion says, hi from Northern Ireland. Tamlin says, oh, Rachel, 9.99k subscribers. Yes. Do you think we might hit 10k tonight? Shall I tell you what number I'm at? Oh, my word. Can you believe this? I don't know if you can see this. You can't see that. I am at 999k. 1 subscriber away from 10k. Can you believe that? 1 away. I've just hit it. I've just hit 10k. I've just refreshed my page and I'm at 10k. What an amazing thing to happen on my live. How amazing is that? Woo! 10k. I'm going to have to do something about that live because it's going to drive me bonkers. Let me just switch it off and see if it makes any difference. I'm just turning this light off because it's shining down like a beacon on my head. There we go. I'm a bit dark now, aren't I? But if I move, I don't know, I might just move you over here. Let's see. Oh gosh, hang on. I'm not very prepared, am I? There we go. Right. There we go. That's better, isn't it? You can see me now. Yes, 10k. Wow. I am absolutely gobsmacked, if I'm honest, because when I started this channel, which is a few years ago now, probably about 4 years ago, I think, I just never thought I'd even get 100, let alone 1,000, let alone 10,000. Wowzers. Well, celebration then. Okay, let's make a page hoodie. So now I've been looking through the instructions because there's so many different options for this hoodie. So I don't know what option you're all doing, but I am doing View B, I think. I only got this cut out today, by the way. Yes, I am doing View B, this one here with the full sleeve. I don't know if you can see that very well. So it's the one with the drawstring waist and the full sleeve with cuffs. And can you believe I printed out the PDF? Was it yesterday, I think? And I traced off my size today and did my adjustments. The only adjustments I've made is to lengthen the bodice by 1.5 inches because I think it, although it's cropped, it will still be a little bit too short for me. And I have also lengthened the sleeves because I'm having so many issues with sleeves at the minute. So I'll tell you what I'm wearing in case you're interested. Let me stand up first and see if you can guess. Oh. Bag of ribbons just all over the floor. So I don't know if you can guess what this is. If I stand up on my chair, you might be able to see the skirt. Hang on. Oh, so there's the skirt. It's got, you can't see it very well in this print, but it's got a ruffle at the bottom. Oh. And I have a tie at the back. And then balloon sleeves that are sort of 3/4 length. They should be full length, but they're not. Amanda says, wilder dress. You have got it right, Amanda. Well, it started off as a wilder gown, and I have hacked it because I've added these balloon sleeves and I have cinched it in at the waist. Well, I dropped the waist actually because it is supposed to be an empire line, and I just thought I would look pregnant in that dress. So I dropped the waist to natural waist and then added some ties to cinch it in at the back. Well, cinch it in at the waist so that it actually fits me. So yes, I really like it, but I forgot that the sleeves are actually 3/4 length And so all I did was slashed and spread them, but didn't lengthen them. And yeah, here we are. So I am going to make it again. Yeah, you're right, Eliza. Dropping the waist does make a big difference. I think it's a really difficult pattern to pull off as it is. And yeah, I just can't pull that design off at all. So, right. So are we all ready to get going? If you're making the hoodie with me. So have you got your instructions ready? As I say, I've got everything cut out. This is the fabric I'm using, which is the See You at 6 French Terry. And I will admit I have already done my grommets because I did them this afternoon. It's the only thing that I've done, but I did them this afternoon purely because I didn't want to do it on the live and it go wrong, because I would have just been devastated. So I have done my grommets. If you're making the view with the grommets, you need to put in your grommets in your hood, your outer hood, not your inner hood, and also the front bodice piece as well. So my front bodice piece has 2 grommets in the bottom here. I've got it upside down there, but yeah, 2 grommets in there because that's where the ties will come through for the waist. Right, so if you're doing this version with me, we're going to start now. We'll start with point 1, which it says the seam allowance is 3/8 of an inch or 1 centimetre. So remember that. Don't go for 5/8 of an inch like I do sometimes. If you haven't already done your grommets like I have, you need to do those now. So what I did was I did what the pattern instructions say. It says to add some fusible interfacing. I mean, it just depends on the fabric choice that you have. If it's quite a sort of weighty structured fabric, you might be okay, but I added some interfacing just on the back so that it just reinforced where the grommets went. And yeah, you need to do that really so that you've got the best chance of making sure that your grommets go in and they go okay. Suki says, are you pattern matching? I am attempting to, yes. I'm going to pattern match the front and back bodice. I have attempted to with the sleeve. I tried to sort of, when I was cutting the sleeve out, I tried to match it up with how the raglan is going to go in, but I don't think it will be perfect, but I'll do the best I can. It's as simple as that. Okay, so yes, if you're doing the hood or hem drawstring, add the grommets or buttonholes. You can use buttonholes as well if you're not putting eyelets in like me. And then the next step is step 4, which is the cuffs. So let me just grab my cuffs. So when I bought this fabric to make this hoodie, I also bought the matching ribbon, which is this here. So I've cut out the cuffs already. This is the only pattern piece for the ribbing that I'm going to be using. If you're doing the hemband version, obviously you'll probably cut your hemband out of ribbing as well, but you can use the self fabric. I think looking at the pattern sheet when I printed it out, the cuffing, there's 2 types for the cuff. There's 2 pattern pieces, sorry. So you've got one if you're using the ribbing like I am, and then the other pattern, there's another pattern piece if you're using the main fabric. So I'm assuming that one is just a little bit bigger because there's normally not as much stretch as what you get in ribbing. You get a lot of stretch, don't you? So Okie doke. So let's work on the cuffs first. If you're sewing the short sleeve version, I don't know if any of you are. I'm not, because it's super cold in the UK and I need sleeves. With right sides together, fold the cuffs to form a tube and sew. This is the edge without a notch. Press the seams open. Right, okay. So essentially what you're doing, right sides together. So I'm going to pin along here on both cuffs. I've got my sewing machine set up, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't always use a jersey needle when I'm sewing with jersey. It's really naughty of me, isn't it? But I don't always. If I'm sewing lycras, if I'm making athletic wear, then, you know, my running kit, when I make my running leggings and things, I will always use a super stretch needle. But generally with jerseys, I just use a normal universal needle and it never fails me. So that's what's in my sewing machine. I'm not going to change it. I usually go by the fabric and how it's stitching. If it's stitching okay, then I'll just carry on using universal needle. I don't think it's always necessary to buy them. I'm glad some other people are doing that as well, and not just me. Okay, so I have got the cuffs pinned. I'm going to stitch down here. I am doing this on my sewing machine. I will be using my overlocker as well, and my cover stitch for hemming if we get that far. So I have set up my sewing machine for a narrow zigzag stitch. So I've got the width at 1.5 and the length at 3, but obviously do whatever is right for you. Anthea says it's all coming out now. Yes, you see, you only get to find out all my nasty habits on the lives. Anna says she uses a regular needle as well. Right, I'm sewing a cuff. Mary says, don't forget to like today's video. Oh, yes. Thank you, Mary. Yes, please. Every little helps and all that. So I've had a really busy day today because I went for a run with Judy this morning. We went to do park run, and I'm just trying to find my little scissors. I don't know where they've gone. Ugh. These ones will be fine. Right. Yes. Went to park run this morning, and we got there and it wasn't going ahead because it was really quite icy this morning. So that was cancelled. So we decided that on the way back to my house from where parkrun is, there was a nature reserve. So we decided to do a run there. So we did 4 miles, run there. Then Judy went home. I came home, had my shower, got everything cut out for and altered for this tonight. So that included tracing off all the pattern pieces, altering the pattern pieces, cutting out the fabric. And then I decided to cut out the Scirocco, which was in my January plans. So I got that cut out and made. That's finished. So I've done quite well today. So where are we? Angie says, just subscribe tonight. I'd like to think I was the one to make it 10K. You possibly could have been, Angie. So if you were, thank you. Bronte's here. You look very beautiful, Mum. Love you. Oh, I love you too, sweetheart. Bronte's going to work soon. She's on nights tonight. Anne says, finally got my Sherwood's order. It's amazing. Oh, yes. I keep waiting for them to do another discount. I know that they've put They've put a really good deal up today, haven't they? They've got 100 bundles of Lady McElroy fabrics. There's, I think, 30 meters in each bundle, and they're selling it for £250, I think, and it should be 500 and something, I think. But I think, from what I understand, you don't get to choose what's in it, so I don't want to risk it. Suki says, oh my God. Jane says, I tend to just go for it with the overlocker apart from necklines. Yeah, well, do you know what, Jane? I used to, with cuffs, I would do the same, but I don't like the bulk you get inside. So I tend to just sew these on my sewing machine, but I don't press the seam. I finger press it rather than with the iron, which is what I'm doing now, and then turning them the right way. Suki says, you're a sewing beast. Yes. Eileen says, you'll have to show us the Scirocco. Do you want to see it? Do you want to see the Scirocco? Obviously, I'm not going to try it on right now, but I can show you it because it's just behind you. Let me just pin these cuffs because I don't know what we're going to be doing with them, actually. I've not read the instructions. What does it say? Fold the cuffs wrong sides together so the cuff is double and the right side of the fabric is on both sides. Set aside. Oh, she'll do that then, won't we? So Crabby Bee says yes. I'm assuming that is to the Scirocco. Right, let me just turn this other cuff the right way and then I'll grab it and show you it. And I have also chosen some more fabric to make another one of these Wilder gowns because I love this dress so much. I made this on, well, I think I finished it on Thursday and I've not taken it off since. Well, I have taken it off, obviously, but I've been wearing it every single day because I just love it. It's really nice. So, okay. Right, so if you're preparing your cuffs along with me, once you've stitched them, press your seams open, fold them wrong sides together like that, and then I've just put some pins in the top so they're ready to attach to the sleeves when we get around to it. Right, let me just grab the Scirocco. 2 secs. Okay. So here's the Scirocco. So this is that really nice Ponte fabric that I got from the textile centre a few years ago, and I lengthened the sleeves to elbow length, so it's just below elbow length for me. And obviously they have pockets. That's the back. So, and full length legs, and they're completely hemmed and finished. I did the hemming on my cover stitch and the neckband was done on my cover stitch as well. Yeah, really happy with it. So let me grab my specs so I can see what you're all saying. Okay, Eliza says, what fabric is your Wilder made in? This is a viscose. It's just a viscose. Cynthia says, I just finished 2 Wilder blouses and the Wilder gown is one of my plans for the year. I still need to purchase fabric for it. Yes, it's very fabric hungry. This took 3 meters, but obviously I'd widened the sleeve as well. So that took up a bit more than the original pattern. And obviously I lengthened the bodice as well. So that took up a little bit more. And the skirt, the 2 pieces for the skirt were shorter than what they should be, but it does come to, so it is midi length on me. And Esther says, ooh, so pretty. So Crabby Bee says, fabric is striking. It is very striking. Yes. Suki says, lovely. Lorianne says, wow, Rachel, that's fabulous. Thank you. Cynthia says, that's beautiful. Eileen says, wow, that's gorgeous. Margaret says, hi, Rachel from Wales. Hi, Margaret. Louise says, gorgeous. Anthea says, Elaine, lovely. I love the colours. Yes, they're very nice colours, aren't they? I've had that fabric for years and never done anything with it. So it's nice to finally get it sewn up. Karen says, looks fab. Vanessa says, that's beautiful, lovely. Judy says, whoops, Eyelet press ordered. I blame you. Don't blame me. Anne says, beautiful. Denby So What says, I really need to make another Scirocco. Made a wearable toile a couple of years ago, but made it too big, so ended up taking all the seams in. Yeah, it's I mean, that's the third one I've made now, and the fit is spot on for me. So Denby So What says, love yours. Angela says, love Scirocco. I'm in awe how you managed to make it in an afternoon. It's a really quick make, to be honest, but the thing is, I have made, because I've made it before, it the pattern pieces are all adjusted perfect for me, so it literally is just a case of cutting it out and then starting to sew it. And because it's jersey tends to sew pretty quick, doesn't it? Helen says, just waiting for handover on my night shift. I'm gutted I can't do this live with you all. You look stunning, Rachel. Thank you. Hope you have a glass of wine to hand. No, I have my water. I've got my water. Judy says, you blame me. Debbie says, hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Hi, Debbie. Don't worry. We've only just started. So all I've done so far is prepare the cuffs. That's it. So we're moving to step 5, which if you're doing view A, which is where it's got the hemband on, you need to prepare your hembands exactly like we've just done with the cuffs. I'm going to go on to point 6, which is sewing the sleeves to the front bodice. So with right sides together, pin the sleeves to the front bodice, matching the notches, 1 notch for the front. Sew and press the sleeve seam allowance towards the bodice. Repeat for the other side. So where's my front bodice? That's the back. So the front one is the one that I've put the grommets in. And I've just dropped a pin on the floor. Better pick that up because Piper has a habit of finding them. Elaine says, I wasn't a fan of the welder gown to start off with, but the more I see it, the more I think I'm going to give it a go this year. I don't think I would make the original pattern. It just wouldn't suit me at all, but I'm glad I've hacked it. Maria says, I love the welder gown, but I've always been put off by the length of the bodice. I love the alterations you made. Thank you. Maggie says, I'm late too. Welcome, Maggie. Stitch Black Fashion says, hi. Hello. Right. So front bodice, which is here. And I need a sleeve. Where are my sleeves? Hang on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you around while I pin these. Okay. Oh, I found my little scissors. Okay. Move the hoods out of the way. So front bodice piece is here. And then we have the sleeves here. Now these are the full sleeve because that's the version I'm doing. So you want the sleeve side with the single notch because we are pinning to the front bodice, and I am going to attempt. Oh, it's not going to work. I was hoping, yeah, because I'm using sort of a check fabric, it's a little bit more awkward to match up, but the side seams will match up, so that's fine. So that's one side. And then the other sleeve to the front bodice. Okay, so you should have your sleeves pinned to the front. Should look something like that. I moved you around a bit now because I am going to be stitching this on my overlocker. So where are we? Michelle says hi from Oregon in the US. Hi, Michelle. Linda, hi, Rachel from Canada. Do you prefer the Wilder gown better than the McCall 7969? I find the sleeves too full around the upper arms. Is that the upper arms on the Wilder or the 7969? I actually prefer this, if I'm honest, Linda. Now I've altered it, I prefer this. I do think my next version, I'm going to slash and spread the sleeves a little bit more and make them a bit fuller, because I love the sleeves on the 7969. In fact, that's just given me an idea, because that's a raglan as well, isn't it? Like this. I wonder if that would be nice to add those sleeves to this. Ideas. Andy says, okay, it's just taken me 3 attempts to do the grommet, lol. Oh, bless you, Andy. That's, yeah, I practiced it first on a scrap and then did the real thing. So Sarah says, is anyone doing the Paige Hudson combination? I'm currently wearing my Hudsons and making the matching Paige. Fantastic. Yeah, that's a thing at the minute, isn't it, on Instagram, a Paige Hudson collaboration. I think Chalk and Notch have done a collab with True Bias, haven't they? Debbie says, I'm thinking of getting the Wilder gown. I've done the Stevie dress from So La Di Da Vintage. It's lovely. Oh, I don't know that one, Debbie. I'll have to have a look. Sarah says, hi, Rachel just joined. Hi, Sarah. Martin says, you have just hit 10,000 subscribers. He's behind the times, isn't he? Bless him. That's because he's cooking tea. So for Serenity says, should have done eyelets today as I just woke the baby up. Oh, no. Anessa says, too late, Martin. We already celebrated that. Yeah. Right. So let me get these sleeves attached to the front bodice. Pins. If you're using your overlocker, don't sew over pins. It doesn't like it. That's one side. Okay, right, where have I put my instructions? So next is sewing the sleeves to the back bodice. With the right sides together, pin the sleeves to the back bodice, matching the notches. 2 notches for the back. Sew and press the sleeve seam allowance towards the bodice. Repeat for the other side. I'm not going to do any pressing until I've got the back bodice attached to the sleeves. So we shall do that one next. So back bodice here. So I know on one of my vlogs the other day, somebody mentioned that they'd made this. I don't know if they'd just done it as a toile in prep for tonight or whether they'd just made it. And they'd said that the hem is really, really wide. Now, and just to watch for that. So I did have a look at the amount of ease that's in this pattern because it is supposed to be very, a very loose fit. And I'm just trying to match these grid lines up. Okay. Yeah, so it is supposed to be a loose fit. And I think at the waist, there's actually about, it says 17 centimeters of ease, which is a lot. So what I did was I've actually gone down a size. I've gone down to a size, well, I'm making a size 8. And originally I was going to do the size 10. But when I looked at the amount of ease, I know that this is supposed to be fairly loose fitted, but I didn't want it really, really, really loose fitted, if that makes sense, with it being cropped. So I've actually gone down to a size 8. So looking at these pattern pieces, I think it's probably going to be okay. But we shall see. Where are we up to? Okay, so Cherie's Alchemy says the Wilder dress has been on my to make list for 2 years, even pulled fabric for it. I need to make it in 2022. Martin says only just joined, my bad. Linda says I found 7969 sleeves tend to hang around the underarm, making me look wider around the chest. I lengthened it down to the waist and took a little fullness from the top of the sleeve. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the underarm on the bodice, I think that's lower than the Wilder, to be fair. Anessa says, that's okay. We know you're doing important work, Martin. He is, absolutely. Angela says, your sewing machine sounds powerful, Rachel. Is it the Pfaff or Bonina? I'm using the Pfaff tonight and my overlocker, which is a Baby Lock Imagine. Anne says, what are we calling tonight now? BMS has gone. I don't know. Give me some ideas. Zdenka Sikarova, I'm sorry if I've pronounced that wrong. Hi from New Mexico, just watching, sipping a morning coffee and enjoying a crowd. Thank you for the action, go girls. Oh, bless you. Thank you. Nice to have you here. So Sarah says, I think the width works better with the drawstring than the hemband. Yeah, I think at least that's going to be okay with the drawstring, isn't it? Because you can cinch it in. The only Jenny Sutton says, hi from Cape Town. Hi. Too hot to even think about a winter garment. Oh, gosh, I can imagine. Jane says, I went down a size 2. I added 3 inches to the length as didn't want it cropped. Denby Sews what says, at 5'1", I don't think the Wilder gown would suit me at all. Oh, bless you, Den. So Joey says, I'm going to make my hem smaller to fit my waist, personal preference. Yeah, I did consider that, but I thought because I'm making the drawstring, it will be fine. Judy says, Martin must. Anna says, how is Martin? Will he be joining us all? He'll be bringing my tea in at some point with any luck. Christine says, hi, just joined, better late than never. Hi, Christine, and welcome. So I'm just currently attaching the sleeves to the back bodice. that is the sleeves attached to the back bodice. Jane says, what's on the menu tonight? We're having salmon. We're having a leek and salmon quiche thingy. Fionuala, is that? I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. I'm rubbish at names. Hi, guys. Hello. And it says grommets in What Have I Missed? Excellent. You've not missed a lot. We have done cuffs. Cuffs, Andy. Just prepare them. If you're doing the hemband, you need to do that as well. And then the next stage is to attach the front sleeve to the front bodice on the raglan, and then the back sleeve to the back bodice on the raglan. So you end up with something that looks a little bit like that. That's the back. And that's the front. With my little grommets in. I don't know if you've seen, but I've put it in the Facebook group. I haven't put it on YouTube yet, but I've put up the vote for February's Sewalong, and the 3 patterns that I've chosen are the Cali shirt by Closet Core, the sequence blouse by Paper Cut Patterns, and the Frida shirt blouse by Atelier Jupe. So if you're not in the Facebook group, just if you just go on to, I put a video up today for the patina blouse. If you look in the description box in there, the link to the Facebook group is in there. And yeah, it's the poll is in there, but I will add it to the community tab on YouTube later as well. So far it looks like the Frida is in front, but it's early days. I haven't picked a date yet. I need to look at dates. So, and I know a few people have asked if I can do, the sew-alongs at different times of the day as well. So I was thinking about maybe doing it on a Saturday morning. So just so that some international people can join in as well that can't watch this live at this time of night. So, but I haven't picked a date yet. I'll have a look at that. Okay, where are we? My sewing practices. Hi all, we're having a sunny, crisp day in Kentucky, USA. Yeah, it was really sunny here this morning and very crisp and frosty, and then it clouded over. It's been miserable the rest of the day. Fionuala is from Ireland. It's Irish. Oh, I'm so rubbish. Eliza, the pudgy professor, says, didn't Martin say that he had a fan club during Vlogmas? We need to see Martin. Yeah, he'll be in soon. He'll be in soon. Suki says, as an introvert, this is the perfect situation to sew with lots of people and still be in my own space. Exactly. I think that's the thing, isn't it, Suki? Because sewing is so, it's such an isolating hobby, isn't it? But I totally appreciate that lots of people who don't do social, don't like being very social, and are, like being their own company, so to speak, can tend to veer towards these kinds of hobbies, can't they? So it's a really nice way of people interacting, but you don't have to put yourself out there unless you're the host, obviously. Denby Sews What says, oh, a cup of tea. I think I'll WhatsApp my husband for mine, lol. Andy says, perfect, thank you, give me an hour. Oh, bless you. Adele says, is the community tab on Facebook or YouTube? The community tab's on YouTube. I haven't put a vote up in there yet, though, Adele. I've just put it in the Facebook group, but I will add it to the community tab on YouTube. Donna says, hi, I think Andrea from Beyond the Pink Door is thinking of doing a sew-along for the Frida blouse. I don't know if you knew about it. I didn't actually know, but that's okay. It doesn't matter, does it? Paula says, hello, late to the party. Sorry, forgot about the time. Just finished my first Davenport dress. All good with you. How does your hoodie goes together? It's coming together quite well. We've got, I've just got the raglan sleeves attached to the front and back bodice, but it's not joined up at the sides yet. In fact, is that the next bit we do? It certainly is, side seams. So what I tend to do when I am joining seams on jersey is I tend to baste, I nest the underarm seam and then I will baste it on my sewing machine before I run it through the overlocker, because I always think it tends to move if you don't baste it first. And I need to, especially because I'm using I am using a grid design, so I need to baste where all those lines meet up. Otherwise, I think he's here. They all want me to say hello. There he is.
Hi, it's me. Come bearing gifts.
Have you brought my tea?
I have brought you tea. I brought a dog as well.
Have you?
Yes.
There you go. Want to treat my tea. Oh, thank you. That looks very nice. Oh, we're not having quiche. Oh, is it quiche?
It is quiche.
Is
it's
it?
there. See,
Okay.
look, I bring her gifts. I bring her food, and then she complains about what.
I'm not
Just
complaining. I'm
a
very
drudge.
grateful.
I'm a drudge.
Oh, go away. Go
Come on,
away.
Piper. Come on. Piper. You still want to stay with Mummy. Piper, what got? What's this? Come on. Goodbye.
So I think this bit's going to take me ages because of the fabric choice, because I want to try and get all these lines matched. I probably didn't pick the best fabric for this, did I? What is going on here? Oh, do you know? I'm trying to pin a sleeve to, yeah, we'll just not go there because I'm pinning it wrong. Right, where are we? Adele says, Suki, you were great on Sew Joey's vlog. Oh, I didn't see that. Julie says, I'm not sewing this evening, but will enjoy watching and seeing how it goes. Zoe says, I have a cold, bright, crisp day. I'm hopeful for a proper summer this year. Oh, aren't we all? Linda says, what would you think about some sort of social media group that outs the pattern companies when they change pattern number so all sewers become aware? Yeah. Yes. Paula says, hi. Yorkshire Sew Girl. Rowan says, A up, cocker. Suki says, thanks, Adele. I watched it through my fingers. Joe is a natural, but looking at myself made me feel very uncomfortable. Oh, I'm going to need to go and watch that. Sarah says, hello, Martin, bless you. J. Liz Nail says, what does Martin do? He's a prison officer. Demi Sews what says, haha, just realised what you meant by tea. It's the north-south divide. Yes, I mean tea as in dinner. Dinner for us is dinner time, as in 12 o'clock-ish. And this is keep her distracted, Martin, while I catch up. So Joey says, well, Suki, you were fab when we went shopping like a duck to water. I need to watch this vlog. What have I missed? Christine says, good idea, Linda. Ruby says, I'm not saying tonight, I'm just enjoying a glass of wine and watching you. Hubby is watching football and I have my earpods in. Win-win. Judy says, St. Martin does everything and is an amazing cook. He is an amazing cook. Right. I'm going to try again, matching these up, and then I need to eat something because I'm very hungry. Yes, he's been at work this afternoon. Well, he's been at work all day, actually. And then he's come home and cooked tea. How good is that? How lucky am I? I do cook occasionally, but I don't enjoy it, whereas he does. Andy says, A up lass at Yorkshire Sew Girl. Yeah, you see, Andy, although she lives in Cornwall, is a northern girl herself at heart. Suki says, you haven't missed anything, Rachel. Oh, I need to hunt this vlog out. So I'm using lots of pins because of this pattern to try and match up all the grids. That's one side done. And then, as I say, I'm going to baste it first before I run it through the overlocker. Otherwise, it will just run off. Everything will run off. And we don't want that, do we? You might just hear Piper in the background because he always does this when we eat tea. He starts barking and talking because he wants to go for a walk. He's been good all day because I took him running with us this morning and he really enjoyed it. So he spent most of the day asleep. Right. Last sleeve to pin. Right, so everything is now pinned. The sleeves and underarms are all pinned. I'm just going to eat some food. So Judy says, at the Yorkshire Sew Girl, my daughter-in-law bought my son a cast iron sign for the garden saying, "Hey up, cocker." Or Judy, you're a Yorkshire girl. You should know you don't have a H on "Hey up, cocker." Jojo's here. Hello, all. Hope you're all well. Just quickly dropping in to say hi. I can't come out to play as planned because LSH has surprised me with June movie and beers for an impromptu date night. Oh, that's lovely, Jojo. Have a fabulous night. Judy says he enjoyed his run so much he didn't want to come home. Bet it was him being around his bitches. Yes. That's Piper with the female dogs. He loves them to bits, doesn't he? Martin's been to see June and he went with, I think he took Isaac. Paula says, I've discovered that I have big issues to fit raglan sleeves properly. Must take them in massively. Judy says, but I'm not from Yorkshire. I'm actually a Midlands girl. Got rescued in 1978. We've adopted you though, Judy. Sally says, hi, sorry I'm late. Hi, Sally. Thank you for joining us. I'm just eating my tea. But we are doing some sewing. Ooh. Right. I'm going to turn you around while I baste these side seams and sleeves. Obviously, if you're using a fabric with a random pattern or a plain fabric, you probably don't need to do this step. You can just run it through your overlocker if you have one, or just go straight to sewing it. But I will baste. this one side. Where are we up to? Jojo says, thanks, Martin. I've been wanting to see it for ages. Couldn't face the cinema. You can face it tonight, Jojo, with your head held high and have a wonderful time. Paula says, how does the new machine run? It's very good, Paula. I still need to really play with it, though. Donna says, what length stitch do you use when tacking by machine? It varies, to be honest. Mine does between I tend, mine goes up to a 6 millimeter. It is millimeters, isn't it? And sometimes I'll based on that. Sometimes I'll based on sort of 4.5. Anything between 4.5 and 6, I will base at. Martin says it was amazing on the big screen, Jojo. I hope you enjoy it. Louise says hello from Nova Scotia. Switching to the big screen now. Wendy says, evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Hope you're all well. Well, welcome, Louise and Wendy. Yes, I'm very well, thank you. Suki says, I'm making a Billy dress, sleeves and neck banding. Fantastic. I'm getting lots of messages on my phone. Oh, bless him. I've got to tell you this because this is quite funny. So Isaac went back to Manchester yesterday and we took him shopping yesterday to stock him up with food and everything. Now, when I was at uni, I lived on beans on toast, pot noodles, that kind of thing, usual student food. No, he's buying rice vinegar, cider vinegar, chicken. You know, it's like, when did that happen? Anyway, cut a long story short, he went back to uni yesterday and he's messaged me today and he says, how long do chicken thighs take to cook from frozen? So obviously I've told him, don't cook them from frozen. You need to defrost them first. And I've told him how to defrost them. So I get, oh, all right, I'm attempting to defrost two of those chicken thighs. And I think, well, good on you. You know, you're attempting to cook something nice for your tea. Anyway, he's just messaged me. I failed at cooking chicken, so I used those pre-cooked noodles to make a noodles with cheese, prawn, spring onion, hoisin sauce, and soy sauce. That's a bit of a concoction, isn't it? At least he's trying, bless him. Oh dear. I think I'd have just had beans on toast. So the house is very quiet without him. Right, where are we up to? Lorianne says, you know what makes me so happy? Several YouTube vloggers that I follow are following you. The sewing community is amazingly supportive. It really is. Absolutely. Jaylee says, I'm making the Kiki briefs. They are compression underwear. Ooh, they sound nice. Very comfy. Right. So I've basted this thing together. I'm going back to my overlock now to sew up the side seams. And I'm just praying that, that's not bad, is it? Look at that pattern matching. How awesome is that? Right, happy with that. So let's get the side seams stitched properly. one side. Where are we up to? Anne says, that sounds just like my son, everything a la carte. Yeah. The Brum Stitcher says, hello, everyone. I was hoping to join, but my son is 5 tomorrow, so I'm wrapping presents and blowing up balloons last minute as always. Good to listen, though. Happy birthday to your son. 5. It's a lovely age. And Esther says, maybe we need to get a Kofi going for Martin to get a takeaway and beer on Sewalong Day. Yeah, that would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Suki says, I read Kinky Briefs. Andrea's here from Beyond the Pink Door. Hi, Rachel. Joining late. Sorry, was colouring my hair. Oh, wow. Nice to see you, Andrea. Hope you're well. Jaylee's Nails says, heh. Cherie's Alchemist says, looks great. Suki says, that's very satisfying, Rachel. It really is, isn't it, when it comes together like that? So Joey says, that pattern matching is perfect, Rachel. So Sarah is clapping. Donna says, fab pattern matching, get you, Rach. Yeah, it doesn't always work that well, to be honest. I've done some doozies in my time, believe me. Right, which side have I not sewn? This side. Let's see if that side's okay. You see this one's out a little bit, look, just at the bottom. Can you see? But it's good enough. I'm not a perfectionist, and it's still better than ready to wear, isn't it? Right, so side seams are done. Where are we up to next? Okay, so if you're doing the short sleeve versions, you can hem your sleeves now. The full sleeve we need to gather. If sewing the slim sleeve, skip this step. Oh gosh, I can't speak. Skip this step. If sewing the full sleeve, gather the sleeve openings. Change your stitch length to the longest possible length, which on mine, as I mentioned, is 6. Sew 2 parallel based stitch lines at the hem. Now, you see, this is another thing I always skip. I never do 2. I always just do 1. Yeah. Make sure not to backstitch at the beginning or end of your stitch lines and leave long ends to your threads. Now, another tip I got actually not so long back was do backstitch at one of the ends and don't backstitch at the other, and then you can pull up to the backstitch as you gather, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'll show you what I mean, because I'm going to do that. Right, okay, and then we're going to be adding the cuffs. So back to the sewing machine. So I'm going to turn it the right way out first, I think. Oh, it's beginning to look like a hoodie. Okay. So I always start at the underarm seam, and then I do back tack at the start so that it secures my starting stitch. And then leave long thread tails at the other end. So now, hang on, what I will be able to do is, this side here is secured, And then this end is where I'm going to gather from, and I will just gather up to there. And then I don't run the risk of pulling the gathering stitch out, which sometimes can happen, can't it? That's happened to me before. So I will just gather the other side as well. The other sleeve, I mean. Okay. And that's the other one. Right, just grab a bit more of my tea. So Bronte's still here. You are one talented lady. Oh, bless you, Bronte. Are you ready for work yet, love? Hey, Meadow says, good morning from Australia. Andrea Upside Down Haley here. Good morning. Vanessa says, then we would have sew and beer alongs too. Yes, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Sarah says, bravo to you, pattern matching as a bonus. I am making head bonnets for my sisters. Donna says, Rachel, don't forget to eat the rest of your evening meal. Yep, I know. And that's last time when I did this, it was stone cold by the time I finished it. Denby Sews what says, I'm just making M8097 ruffled skirt. Oh, I don't think I know that one. So I'll be using that tip about back stitching one end. Thank you. I'm going to just Google it now. M8097. Oh, that's pretty. I don't know if you can see that. They're the other versions. Very 80s. Reminds me, I used to wear skirts like that when I was a kid. Adele says, I backstitch at the beginning, then just pull. However, I do too. Sometimes I do too. If I feel that, it depends how long it is. If it's a really long length of gathering stitches, I will do too, because you need that extra security, don't you? Paula says, I needed to change a knife on my baby lock today. No! Oh my word. Spent an hour on that. Let me tell you that I learned a new technique today. I can imagine you did. Judy says, I've just finished off my Anita Ponte pants from my Make 9. Next up, the page hoodie for Hannah. Fantastic. Linda says, what does Bronte do? Bronte is a healthcare assistant in A&E. Piper's at the door wanting to come in. Denby Sews what says, I'm making the mini version. Oh, wow. Eileen says, Bronte's right. You are very talented. Oh, bless you. I'm really enjoying this. It's such a friendly and relaxing evening. Thank you. Oh, you're very welcome, Eileen. Lorianne says, I laugh when you sew, Serge. I'm going slow and carefully and your machine is going like a bat out of hell. Cracks me up. Yeah, I just go with it, to be honest. Well, it depends what I'm doing. I mean, this kind of thing is easy just to run through. Cherise Alchemy says, for long gathering, I divide it into even parts and do the pull threads in sections in case it breaks. Yeah, which it inevitably does if I do one long string. Absolutely. When I was doing the tiers on this dress, the bottom tier is so long. I did it in 3 sections. And even then, I actually gave up on it. And I ended up using clear elastic. And I got this tip from Sam, who is Frugalissima. She's done a vlog about gathering with elastic. It's absolutely brilliant. I would really recommend you go and watch it if you haven't already. But essentially, it's measuring the diameter of, the circumference, isn't it? Yeah, it's measuring the circumference. Oh, he's brought me coffee. Thank you.
Not just coffee.
It's brought me a nice coffee as well. from the coffee machine.
What have you got in your mouth?
It's Piper. I don't know if you can see him. There he is, look. You're going to say hello, Piper? He says, I just want to eat your tea.
We're going to go out. What have you got hanging out your mouth?
What you've got some... Oh, he's got some overlock thread in his mouth.
Come on. Should we go for a walk?
You're going for a walk?
We'll go for a walk. Come on. Then I can settle down and vegetate and watch telly.
I've got a lovely coffee. Nice coffee. Totally forgot what I was saying now. Okay. Okay, love. I can't remember what I was saying. Donna says, I remember those skirts from the 80s. Yep, I had a white one, a white cotton dress with 3 tiers on it. And each of the tier had, I still remember it now, it was about 8 or 9, I think. Each of the tiers had a rolled edge of a different colour. So one was red. No, one was pink, one was blue, and one was green, I think. I just loved that dress. I wore it all the time. Might have to recreate it, actually. Miss Figment 1 says, I think I need to change my overlocker blade too, Paula. I'm sewing a free to me Prima denim skirt pattern. My mum's lovely friend gets them for me every month. The fraying threads are sticking. Paula says, what are you wearing? Is that me? To me, Paula, I assume. I am wearing the Wilder gown. I made this during the week, but it's hacked to within an inch of its life because the original pattern would not suit me at all. It would be too maternity-like, shall we say. So I hacked the sleeves to make a bishop sleeve, but I forgot that the sleeves were not full length. So like all my sleeves lately, it's 3/4 length. So when I make this again, I need to add on to make it a full length bishop sleeve. I lowered the empire waist to my natural waist, and I added some ties into the side seams so that I can tie it at the back and pull the waist in just to give some shaping at the waist. And I just love it now. Absolutely love it. Gathering. Right, cuffs. We need to put the cuffs on. Elaine says, I made 3-page hoodies last week and I'm currently wearing one that I made a few months ago. Oh, wow. It's a bit ridiculous how many I've made so far. Well, you must love it, Elaine. Hey Meadow says, I don't even use clear elastic. That's what we were talking about. Yes, Frugalissima has a vlog about how to gather with elastic. And yes, so Hey Meadow has said, I just use whatever elastic is suitable in the stash as long as it's thin. Yes, so you measure the circumference of what your gathered piece is going into, and then that is the length of elastic that you need, and then you attach that to the what for in this case what is the tier, the bottom tier, so that gathers up the fabric to the circumference of what it's going into, if that makes sense, and then you just attach it. So that's what I ended up doing with this, because I started trying to gather it just with threads and it was just too much. I couldn't cope. I don't have patience. That's my problem. I'm not very patient. Miss Wang says, good evening, ladies. Tuning in from Norway. Wow. I bet it's cold over there. Cherise Alchemist says, I love the clear elastic. I use that in my wrap top necklines when using knots sometimes to keep it close to my body. I haven't tried it for skirt tier gathering. Nice tip. It was brilliant with this, because I think what Sam says in her vlog is that when you have attached your elastic to the piece that you're going to be gathering up, once it's stitched into where it needs to go, you can then remove the elastic. But I just made this an even quicker thing by putting clear elastic in, because I don't need to remove it, because it's so thin you can't sort of feel it. Where are we? Yes, using elastic together lengths. Anessa says, you were telling us about the clear elastic. Yeah. Denby Sows What says, oh my God, I was a teenager in the 80s. I've subconsciously chosen a skirt from my childhood. Nothing wrong with that. Paula says, I thought that it was the Wilder gown. Really lovely fabric. Yes, this is a viscose that I bought from JJ, who's the Camden Stitch. Paula says, oh yes, I've just said that one. Jackie says, hello from New Zealand. Hi, Jackie. Just got up. So missed the sew along. No, we're still sewing. We're still sewing. Too early for me, but I hope you had a good time. We're still doing it because I'm waffling a lot and trying to eat my tea at the same time. Eliza says, as an advanced practice nurse, my daughter has been a healthcare assistant and technician for over a decade. Finally went back to school and will graduate with a registered nurse degree in May. Oh, that's wonderful. That's really good. Christine says, I like your version of the Wilder much better than the original. I too feel it's too voluminous. Hey Meadow says, total game changer for gathering. It is, isn't it? Elaine says, just to clarify, 2 of the 3 I made last week were for my daughter and her boyfriend. That's the page, isn't it? Adele says, where did you get your clear elastic? I got something, it wasn't very stretchy, as couldn't get it to work. I bought it just from eBay, to be honest. I'll get it to show you. This is it here. So it's just really thin. I just bought it from eBay. It wasn't very expensive and it didn't come on a card. It actually came. To be honest with you, I was a little bit annoyed when it came because I think I'd ordered about 25 meters, and because I do use it, I use it a lot in my running kit when I'm making running kit as well, in waistbands and things, just to add that extra sort of compression so that they don't fall down when I'm running. And yeah, I ordered 25 meters of this and it all came screwed up in a little bag. So you can imagine trying to unravel it all. Martin did that for me because, as we have explained earlier, I don't have any patience for things like that. So yes, bless him. He unraveled it all and put it round some card for me. So it's all nice and secure now. So Sarah says, also like gathering long lengths with dental floss smells good too. Yes, I've heard that tip before, but I've never tried it. I don't know. Does dental floss, is that stretchy? I'll have to have a look at that tip. Donna says, I must admit, I don't like the Wilder gowners. I think at just 5 feet and a little rounder in the middle, it would look like a maternity dress. At 67 years old, it's not a look I would want. No, it's not a look I want at my age either. I mean, if I show you this, obviously I've added the ties in, but if I undo the ties at the back, if I can undo the ties, there we go. So I've undone the ties now, and it's just, you know, it just hangs. So I put the ties in the sides, but I think what I'm going to do with the next one, because the front bodice is in 2 pieces, because you have like this keyhole detail at the top and the little tie around the neck. And I think for the next one, I'm going to add the ties in the front bodice so that it makes a feature of like a belt rather than just at the side seams. But, you know, that's the beauty of hacking patterns, isn't it? That you can just play about with them and put your own stamp on them, so to speak. Michelle says, I bought some off Amazon, came on a spool. Ooh. Adele says, thanks, I'll have a search on eBay. Sarah says, no, just zigzag over it and then pull. Oh. Oh, wow. I'd not heard of that method before. That sounds really good. Right, I need to get these hembands in, otherwise you will all be finishing before me. Right, so I'm just going to gather up the sleeve first. carefully so that I don't break the thread. Lost my thread now. Okay, so that's one. Let's get this cuff on. Pins in mouth, we shouldn't do that either, should we? We're breaking all the rules tonight. Yeah, Paula says that's the beauty of making your own garments. You can adapt the pattern to fit your body better. Absolutely. That's why we sew, isn't it? Anessa says, warning, the floss only works if you secure it well with pins. Otherwise, the presser foot just pushes it all into a mess. Lesson learned. Oh, dear. Sarah says, if you watch Gertie on her YouTube channel, she shows you how to use dental floss making a gathering skirt. Oh, thank you for that. I will. I'll go watch her. Carol's here. She says, hello from Wyoming, USA. Just replacing a zip in a ski jacket. Wow. Suki says, I'm sewing with Atelier Brunette fabric, and oh my goodness, it's lovely. Yes, it's very nice stuff, isn't it? Which one have you got, Suki? I'm just trying to distribute the gathers a little bit better. The one that everyone has in cream. Oh, is it the French terry one in cream? I really want that one. I haven't got that yet, which is surprising, really, isn't it? Considering all the other fabrics I have. But yes, I need to get that one. Jackie says, Atelier Brunette has too many muted colours for me. Are you a bright colour person, Jackie? Right, so that's one cuff in place. My nose is itching. Oh, next cuff. Jackie says yes. Helen says, it's great to have a notebook and pen handy with these Sewalongs to jot down all the useful tips, tricks, YouTubes, and where to buy things from. Thank you, ladies. Yeah. We're a good old community, aren't we, really? You know, when I think that I've never done a sort of sewing course or anything, everything I've learned, I've just learned from YouTube, from watching other people or Googling things. It's amazing now, isn't it, with the internet, just what we can pick up. Anna says, I always think it's great knowing that there are lots of sewists around the world sewing, and tonight on your live, there is lots of us sewing together. How super cool is that? It's amazing. It is amazing, Anna. Totally. I know. I hope all of you that are sewing this, or even whatever you're sewing, if you are part of the Facebook group, that, you know, do go along when you've finished and just put your creations in there so everybody can see what everybody's made while we had this live. Linda says, I just received a big box from FedEx with all my Christmas buys from Sherwood. Wasn't that a great deal that Sherwood did? I know. It was just too good to miss. They've got some really nice new fabrics coming out. They're on pre-order, I think, at the minute. I haven't pre-ordered any. I'm trying to be good, but it's not really working. And I know that those of you that watch Shan at Kittenish Behaviour, she's doing a Cobra Corsage collection, and I emailed Sherwood's a few weeks ago because the Cobra Corsage in the Chantilly colourway is only available currently on the lawn, I think, or the crepe jersey. It's not on a viscose base, and I emailed them asking if they'd do it, and they're going to do it in February. They're going to, they said it'll be ready in February, so that's exciting. Carol says, my Jack Russell dog has a huge crush on Piper. Oh, bless. Seaside Mum says, I've been popping in and out. It's a Saturday daytime here, and there are things to do. Will this be on replay to watch later? It absolutely will be, yes. So Krabby B says, you need a hashtag for Insta to share makes from the Sewalong. Yeah, we do, don't we? We could use stitched up Sewalong. That sounds okay, doesn't it? Steve Driver says, hi, Julie from Tasmania, Australia. I reckon I'm the one farthest south. I was going to join in and make my hubby a pair of boxers by wardrobe by me. Thank goodness I made a twirl, not enough stretch. Oh, gosh. Well, do you know, I saw somebody on Instagram today making those, and I really want to have a go at those, actually. So you'll have to let me know when you use the right jersey if it's a good pattern, because I have lots of jersey scraps and I've heard that it's a really good pattern for jersey scraps. Right, what I'm going to do now is, now I've gathered the cuffs gathered the sleeve into the cuff, I am just basting them again before I run it through my overlocker, just on a long length stitch on my sewing machine. Where are we at? Sarah says, I love sewing. I love watching people sew other things on YouTube. Love Vlogmas so much. Brought me a lot of smiles. Oh, I miss Vlogmas. It's really hard work, you know. Well, it's not. It's the vlogging bit is not hard work. It's the editing everything and putting it all together. So it all sort of flows and whatnot. But it's really nice. It's lovely to watch. You know, everybody says, because I still do it. You know, I think, oh, people aren't going to watch this because it's just boring. But you know, I love watching other people's vlogmases and just seeing people just going about the daily lives, doing, you know, the stuff that we all have to do day in, day out. It's just really nice. I think that's what's so nice about Vlogmas, isn't it? That, you know, you get to see that of your favorite YouTubers. Wendy says, I had a really bad experience with Sherwood's. Oh no, I must try again, as I see so many of you having positive experiences. The only issue I've had with them, which to be fair to them, they have said on their website, is sometimes it takes a long time to get my fabric. But you know, they have every time said that, it has said on the website, you know, we're taking however many days to dispatch at the minute or whatever. But apart from that, I've not had any problems. I hope they sorted it out for you, Wendy, whatever the issue was. Flo says, that's how I've learned my sewing and knitting from YouTube as well, Rachel. I'm knitting a toe on a pair of socks and listening to all the tips. Cheers from Ontario, Canada. Yeah, I need to do some more knitting. I haven't done any for ages, and I've got a couple of things sort of on the go. Well, a few things on the go, to be honest. But I think it's because, you know, I like I like to see things put together. Like with sewing, it's very quick, isn't it? And knitting takes a long time. And I'm just not very good at it. I wish I was, but I'm really not. My mum was a good knitter. She never sewed, but she always knit. Moran Naftali says, it's really amazing how we sew together. I came home after a long shift in hospital and you gave me the inspiration to do a cutting of multiple projects. Oh, that's lovely. I hope you had a good day. Katie says, do you baste outside the seam allowance and then remove it? No. Yes, I baste outside the seam allowance. No, inside the seam allowance, if that makes sense. My basting stitch, I don't know if you can see that there, look. But I don't remove it because life's too short. I only remove it when I've sewn the garment, if you can see any of the basting stitches, I'll remove that little bit. But generally, I don't remove them. I just leave them in. Hey Meadow says, there is at least one New Zealander, so I think they win the most southern title. A few of us Aussies on. Anne says, sewing a sagebush top in Atelier Brunette Visco. Oh, nice. Elaine says, we love your Vlogmas in our house. Oh, thank you. Linda says, we all like instant gratification. Yes. Sharon says, are you sewing on your Benina? I'm not. I'm sewing on my faff. There she is. Only because I'm still getting used. I'll turn you around so you can see me. I'm still getting used to my Benina. And for a live like this, I think I just want to be able to use something that I'm really familiar with. Right, so I'm now going to stitch my cuffs on through. I'm going to run it through my overlocker. I've had a couple of issues with my overlocker today. I broke 3 needles earlier. It's not enjoying going through multiple pieces of fabric at the minute. Where's my scissors? But we're doing okay at the minute. Right, that's one cuff on. Just trim all the loose threads off. One cuff. Right, do the other side. My foot pedal keeps skating across the floor. Second one is on. Just trim these threads. So where are we up to? Emma says, I live about 10 minutes down the road from Sherwood's Fabrics. With being able to pick it up and not pay postage, it's dangerous. I can imagine. Delta Foxtrot says, Kiwi here. Welcome. Elaine says, Emma, I'm 20 minutes away from Sherwood's. I didn't realise you could pick up. I didn't actually. It's a good job I don't live close. Sheila says, I am sticking together PDFs while I listen. Love all the sewing chat. It's great, isn't it? Donna says, have you tried oiling your overlocker? It might help. I haven't. No, I didn't. I'll have to read the instructions because I don't recall that you are supposed to oil it, but I will check. I'll have a look. Carol says, when was the last time you had your overlocker serviced? I haven't had it serviced. It needs servicing. It does need servicing. Emma says, yes, you just need to be within 25 miles. Molly Sews says, good morning from Sydney. Not sewing the hoodie. I'm making adjustments to my Helen's Closet Gilbert. Need FBA, lower dart, reduced grading at waist and hips. Not much, haha. I love that shirt. I am going to make more of those this summer for definite. Denby Sews What says, signing off for tonight. I can't believe how quickly that last hour and a half has gone. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward to the next one. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Carol says, lol. And Denby Sews What sends a huge kiss. Right. So, sleeves are in. Cuffs are on. They look quite good, don't they? So, Martin's back with the dog. Where are we up to? Where's my instructions? Okay, it must be hood time. Optional top stitch. I am not, well, that's just for the slim sleeve. So if you put in the slim sleeve in, you can top stitch, but obviously not the full sleeve. So prep the hem casing. If you're doing the banded hoodie, you put the hemband on now and then top stitch that if you want to top stitch it. But I'm doing view B, so I'm on step 15, which is if sewing view B, prep the hem by stitching a fold guide at 3/8 of an inch, press the hem up, wrong sides together. And then press it up again at 1 inch and pin in place. Dependent on your grommet buttonhole size, you can adjust the casing width. So from the wrong side, edge stitching in place. Right, okay. Okay, so what I need to do then is along the bottom of the hem, I need to just sew a line of straight stitch at 3/8 of an inch all the way round, because that is then going to be my fold up line, if that makes sense. But before I do that, I am just going to trim the bottom of my hoodie, because if you notice, I've got a bit of a, what's the word? They're not the same length, look. So I'm just going to trim this so that it is the same length before I do that. So I'll be back in 2 ticks. I just needed to get my my rotary cutter. So it's literally just at the side seam that I've got that little jog on the hem. At both sides. Right, so I've just trimmed that off. Like so. That's better. And then now I can stitch at 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to drop my stitch length. I've dropped it down to 3 and I'm just sewing a straight stitch. Okay. Okay, so I don't know if you're going to see that, but I have just put a 3/8 of an inch straight stitch all around the bottom. And then what I'm going to do now is take this to my iron and I'm going to use that as a guide to turn over and press. Let's just see where we're at. Lorianne says, no, don't oil your baby lock. Okay, I won't. Marie says, hello from Long Island, New York. Hi, Marie. Welcome. Andy says, up with you. Gin time, lol. Gin. Yeah, we get you, Andy. Linda says, you can oil your overlocker. I didn't know you could. My tech told me last time I was in to put a drop of oil on the upper looper. Made my machine much quieter. I think I'll just take it in for a service, to be honest. Eileen says, I'm just finishing my second Gilbert. I made the first last week and liked it so much. I started another straight away. This one's in a lovely floral linen. Oh, that sounds lovely. I really like it. Really like it. Made it so says, hi from rainy Florida. A bit late, but I put a pin in one end and wrap the thread ends around a figure 8 to secure gathering stitches. Easy to take out after. Joanne says, hello, Rachel. Hi, Joanne. This is so nice to sew along and chat. It really is, isn't it? Paula says, I haven't oiled my baby lock ever, and it's over 10 years old now, but I leave it to get it serviced on regular rotation every other year. My best buy ever. Love my baby lock. Yeah, I absolutely love mine too. Joanne says, my husband is working away and so I'm sewing up a storm. Nice to chat. Seems like some days I don't use my voice much, lol. I'm in Canada and have been snowed in a couple of times, so this is great. Oh gosh, I'm just going to go over to my ironing board to press this. I wish we got snowed in. Just talk amongst yourselves for a minute while I press this hem. Right, I'm back. So I've pressed the hem, the first bit of the hem anyway. So the first bit is pressed up like so. And then it needs to go up again at 1 inch and pin in place. Dependent on your grommet buttonhole size, you can adjust the casing width. So if I just show you here, so when this is pressed up again, it needs to cover where the grommets are. Like that, if that makes sense. So when we put the draw cord in, it will be encased in there, if that makes sense. So I'm going to fold this up. Let me get my little seam, my seam gauge thingy. What's it? I've got one of these things. I don't know if anybody else uses one of these, but I really like it because of the movable indicator that's in red for inches. Elaine says, I wish we got snowed in as well. More sewing time. Absolutely. Vanessa says, you really don't wish to get snowed in, I promise, because that means shoveling out. Lol. Cynthia says, I had over a foot of snow last weekend in North Carolina and it's still on the ground. I love it. Oh, that sounds heavenly. Carol says, when you use machines as much as we do, I have an alterations business. You must take them in for servicing regularly like an automobile. I know. And Maxie says, I'm making view A of the page hoodie with the slim sleeves. Cuffs are on after a couple of attempts. Awesome. Lorianne says, Ruan, you'll be up to 10k subscribers in no time. You just crack me up. Rachel too, I'm sure. Linda says, you wouldn't want to get snowed in. It's not fun when you can't get your door open for snow. Paula says, not much luck to get snowed in. Work from home. Oh, Lynn says, we've never had snow since we moved to Auckland, New Zealand. No, it's not very common down there, is it? Right. So I am just going to measure where that what I'm going to do actually is I am going to do mine at 1.25 inches because then it covers up all the interfacing that was over where the grommets are as well. So I'm just going to go do this back at my ironing board and press this up. I'll be back in 2 ticks. Right, I'm back. So I've pressed it up 1.25 inches on mine and put some pins in, and then we now edge stitch in place. A zipper foot can be helpful to sew around the grommets. Make sure your bobbin thread matches the right side of your garment because we're edge stitching from the wrong side, and I am going to use my edge stitching foot for this, which looks a bit like this. So it's got like that little guide. I don't know if you can see just where my thumb is there. There's like a little, oh no, where is it? There it is. It's just there, look. I don't know if you can see that very well. But yes, edge stitching foot. So I'm going to sew this on a fairly wide stitch because it's going to be a straight stitch and it's on a jersey garment. And although it's not super fitted and it's going to be sort of gathered in with the drawstring, I still don't want it snapping. So you can, I understand, sew jersey garments with straight stitches as long as you have a wide stitch. So I am going to increase my stitch length to 4.5 and sew all the way around. And then, because obviously we've got the holes there to put the drawstring through when we get to that point. And then what I tend to do is, with my edge stitching foot, that little sort of metal guide sits right on the fold of the hem where it's folded up. And then I move my needle across, and I move my needle across at 1.8. And then that gives me a really nice seam finish. So I'm just going to sew all the way around. Move you over a little bit. Right. Grab my scissors and just trim off those threads. Okay, so my hem is sewn and it looks something like that. There we go. So, and then from the inside, it looks fairly neat. So that's done. Where are we up to? I'll just eat the rest of my cold tea. So I've missed some talk about home offices, I think. Eileen says she loves Ruan's channel. Yes, I think we all love Ruan's channel. She's fab, isn't she? Ruan says thank you to Eileen. Steve says, signing off, breakfast calling. Enjoy. P.S. I'm using my husband's YouTube account. Ta-ta, Julie. Bye, Julie. Suki says, sewing is flipping magical. I can't believe I've sewed a dress in a couple of hours. Just the cuffs to do. You're quicker than me, Suki. And Ruan says, go, Suki. Andrea says, I'm knitting with my headphones and it's lovely to chat. Have the chat for company. I bet it is, Andrea, because Andrea does her lives. If you haven't seen Andrea's lives, have a look. She does them on a Sunday evening, usually about 7 o'clock, I think it is. And she shows all the new fabrics. It's amazing. She does it for an hour and it's just lovely. It's really nice. So if you haven't watched Andrea, head over to Beyond the Pink Door YouTube channel, and yeah, so but it's really nice, Andrea, for a change, isn't it, to you not having to do a live but actually sitting and watching one. Suki says, thanks, Ruan. I'm having a fab evening. I'm really pleased. Anthea says, try using the Gutterman Maraflex stretch thread. It's been a game changer for me. Yes, I heard about that. Sarah, who is like so amazing, she did I think it might have been on Instagram, actually. It might have been a little Instagram story or something, but she's got the Gutermann I can't speak. The Gutermann Mara Flex thread in stock. And she mentioned about it stretchy, so you can use it to do straight stitch on jerseys and it will give. So I'm going to have to try that out. Suki says, Andrea, I'm using the lovely fabric from your shop. It's lovely. Andrea's fabric is gorgeous. Andrea says, fab, Suki, can't wait to see your dress. Maria says, hello all, I'm a tad late to the party. My mum took a nasty tumble yesterday. Oh no. So haven't had time to get prepping, hoping to do a retrospective solo sew along if it's staying up. It will stay up, Maria. I hope your mum's okay. Enjoy all. Andrea says, thank you, Rachel. It's lovely to be on this side of a live. I bet it is. Jane says, I love Andrea's lives. I don't like to miss. No, I don't either. But sometimes I'm working on a Sunday. But what I tend to do is when I come home from work and I go to bed, I'll put Andrea's live on afterwards so I can catch up. It's always really nice. Right, we must be onto the hood. Let me have a look. Yes, we're onto the hood next. So I have, I managed to have enough of this fabric left that I've cut the hood lining out of the same outer fabric, and I'm hoping it's going to be okay. So let me grab my hood pieces. So this is the lining. So it says, with right sides together, sew the hood, main, centre back seam and press the seams open, repeat for the lining. So right sides together, you're going to pin all the way around the curved bit of the hood. So I will do that now. And you're going to do it for both the main hood and the lining. I'll show you this when I've pinned it. Where are we up to? Jane says, I love Andrea's lives. Oh, we've read that one, haven't we? Lorianne says, I started watching Andrea for Christmas Vlogmas, loved it. I loved Andrea's Vlogmas too. It was great. Might have to take a trip to Galway Island. I've been to Galway. It's very, very beautiful. Very beautiful. Where are we up to? Andrea says, thanks, Jane. Hey Meadow says, stitched up sew along for all of our garments. Yes, I like that hashtag. That's really good. Andrea says, yes, do, Lorianne. We give a great welcome here in Galway. I absolutely do. It's a beautiful place. All of Ireland's a beautiful place. And that's Ireland, not Northern Ireland. They're very different. Very different. Tamlin says, oh, hang on. Sorry, I've missed Anna. Anna says, I find myself sitting on my hands when Andrew's lives are on. Fabrics are so tempting. They really are. They really are. I would be in heaven if I lived in Andrew's house. Tamlin says, we've got that thread in stock at First Fabrics. Ooh, it just isn't up on the website yet. Hopefully soon. Yes, get it up on the website, Tamlin. I will be buying some, definitely. Suki says, watching Andrea's live is dangerous for your credit card. It really is. Totally. Right. So when you pin your hood and lining, you need to pin around the curved bit, right sides together. Okay. This obviously is the outer hood because that's where my little grommets are. And then when it's pinned, we are going to stitch them at 3/8 of an inch. And this can just be on a straight stitch because it's not going to stretch because obviously it's a hood. So I am just going to drop my stitch length back down to 3. Change my presser foot back over to my Clearview presser foot and move my needle back into its central position from where I had it in edge stitching mode, and I'm just going to sew this at a straight stitch. So we do this for the main hood and the lining. So that's the main hood, and then we'll do the same for the lining. Right, okay, so now you need to press your seams open, and then we are going to attach the hood and lining right sides together and stitch all around the front of the hood. But I'll just go press these and then I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so when you have pressed open your seams, you're going to slip one inside of the other. It doesn't matter at this point which is which, but they need to be right sides together. And then match up the centre back seam. And we're going to pin all the way around the front opening. So if you imagine that's the hood there, we've got them right sides together, and we're just going to pin all around this front opening, down both sides. Where are we up to? Sheila says, love Galway, still visit even though no rail is there anymore. Mum from County Mayo and her uncle was a policeman in Galway. Ah. Amy says, Mariflex thread is fantastic, game changer. I am going to have to try it, definitely. Jill says, do you use Mariflex in the spool and the bobbin? I don't know. I would imagine that you do. Oh, yes. Anthea says, yes, bobbin, both bobbin and spool. So Sarah says, yes, check this because I've just sewn mine the wrong sides together. Oh, no. Yes, right sides together at this point. Let me just finish pinning and I will show you. The very first time I did a hood, I was utterly confused. I just couldn't figure it out at all, how it all went together. Right, so we've just sewn this bit, haven't we? okay, on both the hood and the lining. And then and then we've pressed that seam open. And then we now have inserted one inside the other, but right sides together, as you can see, like that. And then we've pinned all around this opening here, because this bit here is the bit that's going to attach to the neckline of your hoodie, and this bit is the bit that obviously goes over your head like so. That's really attractive, isn't it? So we're now going to stitch this, and then we're going to flip it right side out. I assume that's what you normally do. Sew and press the seam allowance towards the lining, and then understitch the hood lining. So I'll show you that when we get to it. So first things first, we're going to stitch all around this at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so that is now all stitched. So I'm going to turn it right sides out, and then we're now going to understitch towards the lining. So your seam underneath needs to be pushed across towards the lining, and obviously the lining is the one without the grommets in for the draw cord. And then I'm going to understitch. So from the top side, I'm going to stitch through the lining, the hood lining, and that seam all the way around. So I'll do that and then show you what that looks like, and that will help the lining to sit nicely inside the hood. Now I have got a bit of a confession to make, in that the seams on my hood, you know, these grids, they don't match up on my hood, but I didn't have enough fabric because I wanted to cut my lining out of the same fabric. I didn't have enough yardage left to be able to match them, so I sort of figured it was more important to have everything matching on the actual hoodie rather than the hood, because you won't necessarily see that as much. So that's the choice I made, and I can live with it. At the end of the day, if anybody's looking that close at my hood to notice that the grids don't match, they're a bit too close, aren't they? Let's face it. Okay, so where are we up to? Wendy says, Tamlin, will you show us the Mariflex on your channel when you have it on your website? Tamlin says, Wendy, yes, I was planning to do a little video to show you how it works. That will be fab, Tamlin. I'd love to see that. So Sarah says, good job. I'm well practiced with the unpicker. Oh, bless you. So am I, Sarah. Wendy says, fab, Tamlin, thank you. And Vanessa and Janet both say thank you to Tamlin. That will be great. So when you have, that's what it should look like when you've understitched, hopefully. Can you see that there? So that line of stitching is on the lining, and it has stitched through to the seam allowance underneath, so that when I press that, it will sit inside the lining. Judy says, had wine, I sleepy, just watching now, sewing tomorrow, finished my Anita Ponte pants. Jill says, Sarah, you wouldn't be a sewer if you weren't adept with an unpicker. Andy says, all machines going and I still can't keep up with you, lol. Oh, bless you. Right, I'm just going to go give this hood a little bit of a press and press that lining inside so that it sits nicely. Back in 2 ticks. So when you've done that, you should have a hood that looks something like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to baste the hood and the line together around the neckline edge, because that will make it easier to attach it into the hoodie. I'm sure it probably tells you to do that. Oh, actually, no, we don't do that yet. This is me running away with things before reading the instructions. So it says, sew a 1-inch drawstring casing. Dependent on your grommet buttonhole size, you can adjust the casing width. If you have omitted the grommet buttonholes, you can still top stitch the hood, main and lining together. Use pins to make sure the channel lies flat while top stitching, and a zipper foot can be helpful to sew around the grommets. Right, okay. So before we do that, what we're going to do is we are going to sew a casing all the way around the hood for the drawstring to go through. So I'm going to pin this first, as the instructions recommend, just to stop both layers of the hood sort of shifting as I stitch, because we don't want to end up with any puckering or anything. Eileen says, Rachel, your hair looks fab. Oh, thank you. It's only because I had a shower earlier after my run and did my hair, so it won't look like this in the morning, trust me. I hope Piper is going to have a matching hoodie. Oh, can you imagine? If I had enough of this fabric left, I could make him one, couldn't I? Hey Meadow says, that's one thing I've noticed since I began sewing. Ready to wear can be very slapdash when it comes to pattern matching and or finishings. Absolutely. So anything I make is better quality in construction. Yeah, totally. I think I always notice it, you know, when you're watching the news, and sometimes the news presenters, I always do a, what is she wearing? Because sometimes, obviously, I'm assuming they wear ready to wear clothes, and sometimes the pattern matching, it just, yeah. Let's say no more about that. Right, so I think I'm just using my little measuring gauge again, and if I do that at 1 inch, which is there, that's probably going to be okay, because it's going to cover the it's going to cover the grommet. I think Piper's just getting told off. I've just heard Martin's voice raised. Grab some cold quiche. Where are we up to? I think we're caught up. That's good. Okay. So I've done the stitching line for the casing. So it does say pin hood to neckline. But one thing it doesn't tell you to do is to baste these two together. And I think I'm going to do that. I'm just having a quick read of the instructions. Yeah, I'm going to baste them together because it will just make it easier to attach, to make sure I catch both in the neckline. But obviously you can choose not to do that if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you. Okay. Right, so I've just got it all pinned. So I've just got the neckline edge pinned. Look at that, pattern matching's really bad, isn't it? Don't tell anybody. Right, so let's get this basted. Okay, so basted. That should make my life easier now. So grabbing your hoodie, we're going to pin the hood to the neckline. So with right sides together, pin the hood starting with the wearer's left side, matching the centre front notch of the hood to the centre front notch of the bodice. Okay, so you should hopefully have put all your notches in your hood, and I've got my little centre front notch just there. I don't know if you can see that, look. So making sure it's right sides together. So that's the left side, and I've matched up the notch in the hoodie front with the notch on the hood. And then we're just going to continue pinning this without stretching it all the way around the neckline. It's gone very quiet. Are you all still there, or have you all gone? Or is everybody concentrating? This is where you discover that your hood doesn't, the circumference of your hood doesn't match the circumference of your neckline. Okay, everybody's saying they're still here. Joanne says, Rachel, the snowed in has its good things like lots of time in the sewing room, but the temperatures are very cold, -30. -30? Oh my word. That is cold. You definitely need a hoodie then. Anna says, you say that about the newscasters. The weather lady the other day had a gown on that was really out of alignment. Forget wonky whether she had wonky lines. Oh, bless. Yes, everybody's still here. Great. I thought I'd bored you all to tears and you'd all decided to go. Right. Okay, so I'm nearly round the neckline. Okie dokes. So the hood is pinned to the neckline and they should overlap at the centre front. So your notches should indicate how they overlap. And again, I'm going to baste this before I run it through my overlocker, just because it will make sure that it stays in place and I won't end up getting any puckers or anything. So I'm going to just use the free arm on my machine so I can hook the neckline over the free arm, and then I'll start from the centre front and just work my way around. When you're doing this, make sure you have got the hood and the hoodie right sides together. It's probably another good reason why you should baste it first, just to make sure, because yes, I've done it before where I have had the hood inside out. I think especially when, like me, you're using the same fabric as your lining. I think if you're using a different fabric as your lining, then it'll stand out straight away, won't it? But it can get a bit confusing at this point. Okie dokes. So, right, so hood is now basted in place, and I'm going to just turn you around. We're going to go back to the overlocker, and I am going to overlock this One other thing you could do is you could use bias binding around here as well, if you really wanted to give you that nice, neat finish. Now, before I do this, I've just noticed I have got a little pucker. So out comes my seam ripper. 2 ticks. That's why it's always good to baste first with these kind of things, so you can just double check. Where was that pucker? There it is. Right, so if I start my stitching there. Okay. Okay, so hood is on the hoodie. Oh. Right, move that out of the way. So there we go. We have a hoodie with a hood. So I assume the last couple of steps is to insert the drawstring. Yeah, if adding a hood drawstring and or hem drawstring, thread the casing and trim to your desired length. Tie knots at the ends to prevent them from pulling through. You are finished. Give your page hoodie a final press. Right, so I have got some drawstring, which is this stuff here. So I went for cream because trying to find a green, I think, that would coordinate with this, I think would have been quite difficult. So I just went for cream. I thought that worked quite well. Quite like how that looks together. So where are we up to with the chat? Joanne says, I do lots of McCall's patterns for a fleece dress, much like the Billy. Jane says, still here. I got a bit behind, has had to make some changes to get the waistband to fit. Oh, bless you, Jane. Lorianne says, lol, I'm in the home stretch on my Rowan turtleneck top to go under the Grace cardigan I made this week. Oh, lovely. The cover stitch machine ran out of looper thread. So fun to pull out all those stitches. Oh, it is, isn't it? It's great fun to pull out cover stitch, not like trying to pull out overlock stitches. Tamlin says, I'm going to have to love you and leave you all now, I'm afraid. Dinner is ready and I've also run out of thread I'm using for top stitching. It's been lovely having you, Tamlin. Thank you for joining. Tamlin says, thank you so much, Rachel. Can't wait to finish off my hoodie when I pick up some more thread. Love tonight. Bye, everyone. Goodbye. Judy says, good night, Tamlin. Thanks for joining. Enjoy your dinner. Everyone's saying goodbye to Tamlin. Joanne says, have you sorted your fabric stash? And if you have, how have you organized the fabrics by type or length? No, not really. Down here, they are sorted by fabric type to a degree. Upstairs, they haven't been sorted yet. I'm such a bad girl. I need to sort out all the jerseys that are on top of the calyx units. That is my next job, to be honest. And I haven't done it yet because I haven't had any time. Throughout January, I have been working like a Trojan, and I actually finished my job the other day. So I am now, I suppose you could say, unemployed. But no, I'm self-employed because I am working locum, freelance, however you want to call it now. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. So now it means I do have a bit more time, but I'm just looking for a safety pin. That's what I'm rooting about for at the moment. Yeah, I finished my job the other day, but in January, I've literally worked, I think I did about 17 days on the trot without a break, without a day off, which was very tough. So I was really, really tired. But I've had 3 days off this week, which has been lovely. And things are going to be a lot better now because I can take days off whenever I want and work when I want, etc. So yeah, that's going to be really good, which means I have more time at home to be able to sort out my stash. And I'm trying to find a safety pin. 2 ticks. I've got a feeling this isn't going to go through. Oh, it is. Is it going to go through? No, that's not going to go through either. I've got this type of safety pin, but only that one. And then I also have wherever they are. Oh, there they are. I've got this type as well, but these won't go through either. This type as well. Can you see that? But it's too big to go through unless I squash it a little bit. Yeah, it'll go through if I squash it. That's fine. The other thing I was going to do was get a bodkin, and because sometimes I use a bodkin to insert elastics and laces and that kind of thing. So, but I've been able to squash that, so I can get that through. Right, let's get this drawstring in, and then we're nearly done, which is really exciting. Suki says, finished my billet, very happy. Oh, put it up in the group, Suki, so we can have a look. So Krabby B says, goodbye to Tamlin. Can't wait to see yours in that beaut fabric. Yes, Tamlin is making her hoodie out of some wattle and slate fabric, I believe. It's gorgeous, really nice. Judy says, oh my God, my lodger lady says there is no such thing as a big stash. She buys fabric by the bale. What does she do with it, Judy? Miss Wang says, pull a thread through the band. Yes, that's an idea. Anessa says, whoops, no sewing. I guess I fell asleep instead. Oh, bless you. Well, I'm just now feeding this little... Don't you just hate it when you get to, you know, where the joins are and you've got to try and get a safety pin through? Actually, that one's gone through okay. So I'm nearly halfway. Oh, and then your safety pin comes undone. So Linda says, I sort my fabric by putting a 2-inch square on letter size paper, so all rayons together. Then I pack them in bins. I give the pages names that match the bins names. Ah. So Sarah says, it's so funny. See, we all have the same sewing issues. We do, don't we? We certainly do. Right, I think I've managed to get this safety pin that came undone halfway through the casing back together. Nappy pins are the best for those of us who remember terry toweling nappies. I remember terry toweling nappies, and I used them with my children because I was trying to be environmentally conscious and didn't want to use disposables, even though everybody else did. But these grommets are too narrow for even the nappy pins because they're bigger than this safety pin that I've got. I don't have any smaller ones, which is strange. Oh no, it's my drawstring has come off the safety pin, but I think I can stick some tweezers in and grab it because it's right near the end. This really is one of the worst things, isn't it? Where's the end? I don't want to have to do all that again. Oh, I've got it. Phew. Oh, no, I haven't. I thought I had, and I haven't. No. No, I'm going to have to pull that out and do it again. That's annoying. Have you got a loop turner you can grab the end with, Rachel? Yes, but I've pulled it out now. Oh, right. Let's try again. So Amy says Lauren Guthrie has just filmed a vlog about organising fabrics. I will have to watch that. Van Steely says, yes, I have some nappy pins I keep with my knitting. Hey Meadow says, I also used cloth nappies in the 90s with my two kids. My daughter was aghast when I suggested I try making some of these new shaped fancy cloth nappies. Yes, I see lots of those, people making their own sort of cloth nappies now. You know, the like nicely patterned ones with that special fabric. Is it pull or something? PUL? Polyurethane? Oh, I don't know what it is. So Krabby B says, how about the doodad that came in the Beyond the Pink Door advent calendar? Which doodad? Because I only got the 12-day one, and I don't think, I'm trying to think. I got, I don't think I did. Ruan says, my lets are so teeny, I can't find a safety pin small enough. If you have a bodkin, Ruan, what I tend to do, I have a bodkin, you know, like a really big needle, and I would thread this through, sew it on, and then put the bodkin through, and it will take it through. Pips Skiloo says, have you got a loop turner you can grab the end with? Oh, I've said that one, haven't I? Yes, I do have one actually, but I didn't even think of doing that. Thank you for that. I'm nearly there again. Let's hope it doesn't come undone. Julie says, I've never bought from Sherwood's, just checked out their website. 30 meters of McElroy deal just invited itself into my life. Oh, bless you. Joanne says, sorry, some of my messages aren't sending from Northern Canada. Oh, no. But I said that it would be nice if you videoed the sorting out the stash and showing if you get rid of anything. Yes, it could be a long video. Right, it's through. Andrea says, I use a needle that I use for sewing up knitting. Yes, long eye and has a blunt rounded point. Let me see if I have my, I'm trying to think where my bodkin is. Oh, it's here. This is what I have. So I use this for sewing up knitting, and yeah, it's got a really big eye. So I would, in fact, I might try it round the other one, around the hem. Thread that through the eye if I can. I might just have to trim that off because it's a little bit frayed. Yeah, so thread it through like that, and then it should be able to just go straight through. So we'll try that for the hemband. So now, I mean, I've got 4 meters of this drawstring, and I'm just sort of deciding how long I want these. Probably, that's maybe a bit long, isn't it? I don't know. probably a bit short. If I stand up. So I think maybe just a bit shorter than that. I don't know. That length looks probably okay, isn't it? So I'll cut that to there. And then we shall put the rest through the hem. So now I have this little bodkin thing, look, all threaded through. I'm just going to feed it through the hemband and it should be fine. If you've got one of these, Ruan, if not, I think they sell them in Home Bargains or Quality Save or whatever, or Boys if you've got a Boys near you. Jayliz says, I use the Trello app on my phone to catalogue my fabric by type. When I buy fabric, I create a card that it goes into the corresponding category with date, store, composition, length and width. Ooh, that's very, very organised. I know a few people who use Trello, but I've never even looked at it, to be honest. Ruan says, just done that, success. Awesome. So Crabby B says, my page pattern didn't arrive in time, so I'm glad I'm experiencing this with you and Ruan to avoid same issue with pulling through cord. I've sewn a Nora tonight. Ooh, nice. Andrew says, that's exactly what my needle looks like. Yeah, they're great, aren't they? Patricia Lynch says, put it on first. Oh, that was before I cut the drawstring. To be fair, I got this drawstring from Boys, so I can always just nip and get some more if I decide that it's not long enough. Ruan says, yep, doing that now. Andrea says, did you see how Whitney Tomcat Stitch uses shoelaces in her hoodies? No, but I should imagine, I was thinking that's exactly what this stuff is. It is just a shoelace without the little bits on the ends. Patricia says, oops, cancel that. Anessa says, Ruan, didn't you get one in the pink door calendar, lol? Yeah, because Ruan got the full 24-day one from Andrea. I just got the 12 because I wasn't quick enough. I think Ruan got the first one as well. She must have been sat there like it was a buzzer on a game, you know, on these like, oh gosh, get through. I think this bodkin is like catching on some of the loops in the other side of the French terry. I'm nearly there. It's like a workout, is this? Ruan says, I've used shoelaces for my Hudson's. Bonus. And she says, I did, but it's still too big. Oh, no. Wendy says, fastest finger first. Yes, I think she was. She must have been like hovering over the bite now. It's through. Hurrah. Okay. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. We've made a hoodie from start to finish in how long? With all the talking I've done as well. It's 9:15. So we're about 3 hours, aren't we? Right. So I'm going to want that a little bit longer, I think. That's probably a little bit too long. Right, I'm just going to knot these near the eyelets so that they don't pull through, because that's what it recommends you to do. So I've knotted the ones around the top of the hood, just there. And then I'm just deciding on the length. So somebody mentioned try it on. So I'm going to try it on. I don't think it's going to go with my dress, but how's that look? It doesn't exactly go with a Wilder gown, but so I need to just sort out the length of these now because I don't want them too long. I think maybe just a bit longer than that. Probably, yeah, I think that's probably a good length. Perfect. I've found another loose thread. That'll be it now for the next however many days, finding all the loose threads. Okay. I'll just tie some. Okay. So there we have it. Page hoodie completed, more or less. What I am going to do is, because these ends are a bit frayed, I think I'm going to just cut them with my pinking shears, and then I will probably stitch them under just so that it stops that fraying. But otherwise, we're done. I don't know what it looks like with the hood up. There we go. What do you think? I will take some better photos of it in the daytime, dressed more appropriately. I'm at work tomorrow in out of hours, so I might actually wear this then. But I'm really happy with it. I like it. The length is great. I'm glad my natural waist is here. So I think that's going to work really well over sort of jeans and things. It's going to be nice, isn't it? But this fabric is gorgeous. It's really, really lovely. Really lovely. Oh, you're all saying you really like it. It's great size, isn't it? I like this. Is perfect for me because it's not too big, but it is still big enough. So, but I've still got plenty of ease in it and plenty of room. So yeah, the hood, I think the hood is a great size. I just did, as I say, this is the size 8 that I did. And the only amendments I made was just lengthening things. So I lengthened the sleeves by about 1.5 inches and the bodice by about 1.5 inches as well. So yeah, really good. Right, I am going to love you all and leave you now, if that's okay. I hope you've enjoyed this evening. And yeah, anybody that's made anything tonight, if you've made this when you get it finished, if you've not managed to get it done tonight, please put your pictures up in the Facebook group. I'd love to see it. I'll take some better pictures as well, and I'll probably stick them in the Facebook group and on Instagram, and it'll probably appear in my January makes as well. I've really enjoyed my second sew along. It's been great fun. I hope you all have too. And I've had a lovely Saturday evening. Thank you all so much for joining me. It's been such good fun. So I'm going to say goodbye. And yeah, I hope you'll all join me again next month, and we shall find out what we'll be sewing next month in a few weeks, I guess. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye.